Hi, I'm Ayla of Transcending Trims, and this is It's More Than a Haircut. Real talk from behind the chair, unfiltered stories, deep reflections, and the raw truth about life in the beauty industry. Let's explore the emotional side of making others feel beautiful while learning how to hold on to our own confidence too.
Season 2, Episode 3. No more babysitting clients. Boundaries, self-respect, and moving on. Trigger warning, discussion of anxiety, emotional exhaustion, and boundary setting. Hey love! And welcome back to It's More Than a Haircut. Today's episode is going to feel a little spicy because we're talking about something that almost broke me. The emotional labor of babysitting our clients. This one's for every hairstylist who's ever been guilted, ghosted, or stretched so thin trying to be nice that you forgot what it felt like to be respected. Let's get into it. Here's the truth. I used to run my business like a second job. As someone's personal assistant, mom, and crisis manager all rolled into one. Clients expected text reminders for their appointments, zero consequences for reschedules, to be as late as they wanted, no penalty, for me to magically open my calendar outside of my hours, and for me to fix their urgent hair problems within 15 minutes notice. And for a while, I did it. I bent. I adjusted. I told myself it was just part of good service. And that if they were loyal, I owed them. Because that's what we're taught, right? Loyalty equals obedience. People pleasing equals professionalism. You know what it really equaled? Anxiety, resentment, exhaustion. And it wasn't just physical burnout, it was emotional burnout. The kind where you dread checking your messages, when your heart rate spikes every time you see a late night text. Can you squeeze me in? So I had to ask myself something really uncomfortable. Why do I keep letting my boundaries be negotiable? The answer is I was afraid that if I stopped hand-holding, I'd lose them. If I enforced policies, I'd sound mean. If I stood in my power, I'd be too much. But you know what I've realized? It's okay to be too much for the wrong people. When I stopped babysitting clients and enforcing my policies, I started attracting the ones who didn't need to be chased. They showed up on time, read my booking policies, respected my schedule, never made me feel like I owed them my peace because I raised the bar for communication. And that bar, it now says, my time is sacred. My energy is not on demand. I run a wellness-first business. Your emergency is not my emergency. I implemented online scheduling and a waitlist form, so I'm not rearranging puzzle pieces or managing chaos. Automated reminders and clear messaging that reinforce my policies before guests ever arrive. I don't reach out if someone's late or a no-show. My policy is clear. They pay the missed appointment at their next visit, or my hourly rate still applies. And surprise, that tends to keep them punctual. I'm also stubborn about my availability. I have a family, a life, and joys that extend beyond the salon chair. This isn't a hustle marathon anymore. I take breaks between guests so I'm rested, present, and fully in my magic when they walk through the door. And you know what? The energy shift is contagious. Because even though I have strong boundaries, my guests understand that they are a priority. They feel the care. They feel the intention. They know they're being held by someone who actually wants to be there. That's the magic. Not overextending, not self-sacrificing, just showing up as a whole, well cared for version of me. And yes, that meant saying goodbye to some clients I'd had for years. And yes, it meant being misunderstood by a few people who didn't like hearing the word no. But it also meant reclaiming my sanity, my sovereignty, and the reason I do this work in the first place, to make people feel beautiful. Not to burn myself out in the process. And the biggest shift, I backed up those boundaries with systems that do the talking for me. So I no longer have to play the bad guy. So if you're a stylist or anyone in the service-based business who feels like your job has become emotional gymnastics, I want you to know you are allowed to stop babysitting. You are allowed to raise the standard. You are allowed to expect maturity and responsibility from the people you serve. You don't have to be everything for everyone. You just have to be you, with clear boundaries, high standards, and a heart that knows the difference between kindness and self-sacrifice. That's not unprofessional. That's power. And you, babe, you deserve to work in your power. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week, where we're diving deeper into self-trust, sacred spaces, and what happens when you finally stop trying to prove yourself. If this episode made you feel seen, please share it with another stylist or a soul who needs to hear it. New episodes of It's More Than a Haircut drop every Tuesday. Until then, protect your peace, honor your boundaries, and keep creating beauty that begins within.
Thanks for listening to It's More Than a Haircut. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who gets it. And don't forget to follow for more real talk behind the chair. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Follow, subscribe, and come hang out with me behind the chair, behind the truth. Until next time, take care of your energy, your craft, and yourself.